Welcome to another segment of Unleashing the Champion Within podcast with your host, Andrea Mason, the Global Voice. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of Unleashing the Champion Within. My name is Andrea Mason, the Global Voice and your personal accountability coach. Today, we have an amazing gentleman who I like to say is a good friend of mine, an alumni of Dr. Brown's Power Voice Academy. His name is Benjamin Jenkins. Welcome, Benjamin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Benjamin, what I love is I would love for you to share with our audience and the viewers on how we, working together, have had the ability to allow you to have the ability to develop and learn about how you obtain personal accountability towards yourself, your business, your dreams, goals, and aspirations, and allowed you to experience the internal healing and what it means to you. I'd love for you to share that. Would you, please?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working together now for a few months. And one of the things that really helped me was the focus on searching for the origin of a feeling. I think like a lot of people, I spent a lot of time reacting to circumstances, reacting to feelings as if I had no control over them, or as if they just happened to me, out of the environment. And to really take the time to say, where does this come from, helps me to understand it. So for instance, if I'm feeling stressed, which I often do, or less so now, but when that feeling came up, rather than just to say, this is something that I'm doing and I wish I didn't, to say, is this stress something that was designed to serve me in maybe a previous situation? And when I can appreciate it there, then I can still learn how to apply it in its context, but not to let it overrun my entire day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you've done amazing work with a lot of inner exploration and self-discovery. And it's just been an amazing experience. What would you say one of your takeaways, the lessons that you have learned thus far?
One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is to have the humility to question my own habitual thoughts and reactions. Like, not that I'm doubting myself, but that I, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these things, they came to me through my reactions of previous experiences, whether it was painful experiences or pleasant ones. And so many of us, we tend to say, well, this is just how I am, so the rest of the world needs to get on board with the program. And I don't think we do that consciously, but for me, I know I had been doing that a lot more than I would have realized. And so having that humility again, just to say, maybe I can do better. And if I am willing to question the assumption that I'm doing the absolute best I can, then it frees me to wonder and to explore the possibilities of saying, like, do I have more to offer? Am I stronger? I remember one quick moment while I was at work. I work delivering packages for FedEx, and we can have packages that are up to 150 pounds. And of course, we have a dolly and everything. But as you can imagine, over the course of a day, it can get quite tiring. And one of the powerful breakthroughs is I noticed that my mind gets tired before my body does. And yet, when that happens, my mind is saying, sometimes it's early in the day, I wish I didn't have to do this. I'm tired of doing this. When I do that, my body manifests that feeling, and I'm physically tired. And so again, what I was saying before, having the humility to question that, for me, I started to realize what if I'm stronger than I think I am? And I realized just by saying that to myself, repeating that, you're stronger than you think, then my body would dare to prove it. And it's not, not so people can abuse themselves with extra heavy lifting and all this. But that principle applies to so many things. It applies to relationship struggles. It applies to, doubts within goal setting. It applies to financial struggles. To say, what if I have more capability than I've convinced myself? Because I have thoroughly convinced myself, almost. But to just one thing, working with you and working with, any kind of a mentor and a support system like that, it liberates you to really have that healthy level of doubt and skepticism toward your own inhibitions.
Absolutely. And it's just amazing. And I would, as everybody knows in my audience, that I am very particular about words. And I would shift and tweak humility to awareness. Because when we have humility, we feel ashamed. That's something that we didn't recognize. We kind of insult ourselves. And I know your awareness has increased so much over time. And it goes into, a parallel of the late great Bob Proctor's stating, mind over matter. And, I like to add an addendum that is that it is what is in your mind that matters. And it's also the matter that's in your mind that is most significant. And you have come a long way. Your awareness, your catching yourself, changing your channel is what I'd call it, as well as you've overcome the vulnerability and the empowerment to have influence and impact. And I'm truly proud of you, seeing that come through, in the recent posts, in the recent conversations we have and connections. So at this moment, I definitely want to say how proud I am of you, and I'm so grateful for connection. So what the next and final question closing to this segment is, what is the next dream, aspiration, or goal that you'd like to accomplish?
A big vision for me is sharing with other people the possibilities of what they can do, what they can enjoy in life. Because I've been studying personal development for years. As you mentioned, we were spent time together in Les Brown's Power Voice. Yes. And those things have really been helpful for me. And yet so much of that time I spent thinking, well, Mr. Brown can do this because of all the years he has spent, or because of some kind of advantage. I put blocks on my own. I made excuses for my own, what I saw as a lack of progress, even though I think every day we're making progress. Absolutely. And so as I started looking at more content, from Bob Proctor and from Tony Robbins and from Brendon Burchard and all these different influencers in the field, just filling my mind with that stuff, as you said, mm-hmm. I started to have that little seed of belief. And that's a journey that I would love to have a part in spreading with other people. And I think coaching is a powerful way to do that. I think that being an online influencer is a powerful way to do that. But for me, my biggest passion is not just getting people to see my content and to work with me, but to be a part of the moment where they realize that and it becomes real to them. Yes. Each person, whether it might not be an overnight shift where their life, looks one way and then they wake up the next day and it looks another way. But I do believe that there is a moment in the mind where that happens, and then that becomes manifested, as a process. But that moment of saying, I really think that I am more powerful and there's more potential in me than I had previously dared to hope. To me, that's a magical experience that I would love to be involved in with other people.
Excellent. Excellent. And that is truly the greatest reward as a coach, as a mentor, as an influencer, and an online, developer. That has been my greatest reward, being able to connect with individuals all over around the world to understand that we all have a book of life. It's just a matter of where we are in what chapter and where we want to get to next. So Benjamin, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your connection. Ladies and gentlemen, his information will be found in the description notes. Check him out. And when we start on that next level of journey, we'll have him back to see how he's doing. So I want to thank you so much, and I look forward to walking beside you towards the next step in your life transformational journey. And thank you for choosing to press play. Plan life according to you. Have a great day. Thank you. Be well.